Our money is losing purchasing power at the fastest rate since 1990. Everything around us just seems to be getting more and more expensive. In this video, I give you my 2.12 cents on exactly how we got here and the steps that you can take right now to stay ahead of this inflation surge. Let's go. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Arjun here. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things money. Inflation has been a red hot topic recently, especially after we reported the highest numbers that we've seen in the last 30 years. So in this video, I thought I'd break it all down for you, tell you everything you need to know, including what you should not be doing in this situation. So make sure you stick around for that. Alright, so inflation in its simplest terms is when the purchasing power of a currency decreases, meaning that prices tend to go up over time. Some small element of inflation is actually good for the economy because it incentivizes people to consume goods. For example, if you know that your money will be worth less in a year's time, then obviously you're going to be spending your money today rather than holding on to it for tomorrow. The more that people consume, the more jobs are created, and that results in a flourishing economy. The most common way to measure inflation is using what's called the CPI, or the Consumer Price Index. It was produced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics using a basket of 80,000 items that Americans consume in their daily lives. So this would be things like food, rent, gas, prescription drugs, etc. The Fed, who are responsible for the monetary policy of the country, have tried to maintain a healthy inflation rate of around 2% or so every year. The problem, however, starts when this inflation number goes up too much, because that means that goods and services increase in price so dramatically that most people just can't keep up. This is what started ringing alarm bells recently. This CPI number came in much higher than expected, with a 6.2% increase in October versus the same time last year. A dozen eggs increased in price by 29%, a gallon of milk increased in price by 8%, car prices have shot up, and we're even seeing cases of shrinkflation, where the price of the product remains the same, but the volume that you get for that price goes down. So how on earth did we get to this point? It's a combination of high demand and low supply. This year, demand has come roaring back after shutdowns kept everybody indoors during the early days of the pandemic. E-commerce activity especially has just shot up through the roof because everybody is ordering things online. Companies just aren't able to produce enough to match this huge rebound in demand. At the same time, we're experiencing multiple supply chain disruptions too. Bottlenecks have piled up across ports in Asia, Europe, and America. Shipping containers are just left to be idle at these ports because there's nobody to unload them and take them to their final destination due to a labor shortage. Nike says that the time taken to get their shoes from Asia, where it's manufactured, to North America is now 80 days, which is twice the pre-pandemic rate. Apart from this, the big elephant in the room is, of course, the Fed's money printing. To keep the economy alive, trillions and trillions of dollars were injected into the market. In fact, almost 25% of all of the dollars in circulation were printed in the last 1.5 years, which is a mind-boggling stat in itself. When more money is created out of thin air, obviously that means the less value each dollar has. Now, if you're thinking, hey Arjun, all of that is fine, I get it, just please tell us what we can do about it. Well, you're in luck, because here are 4 ways that you can combat inflation. The first way is to focus on increasing your income. With everything around us getting more expensive, regular salary adjustments of 1 to 2% are just not going to cut it. You're essentially getting a pay cut with the inflation numbers that we're seeing. Ask for a raise at your current job or switch over to a new job to be able to earn more. The job market is super hot right now, with employers paying a pretty penny for top talent. The second, which is also my favorite way, is to buy stocks and ETFs. The reason being that companies, especially large ones, can pass off these price increases onto their customers. As customers buy these higher priced goods, corporate earnings grow, and that in turn increases stock prices. Another good option is to lock in low interest rates right now. Mortgage rates across the country are still quite low compared to their historical averages. If you buy or refinance a house, then you'll be taking advantage of cheap debt, because the money that you'll be paying back later as a loan will be in the form of cheaper dollars in the future. Commodities like gold, silver, even cryptocurrencies are known to hedge against inflation. Gold and silver are the old timers here, with investors throughout history turning to them as a safe haven to preserve their wealth. Bitcoin is the new age digital version of gold. I strongly feel that Bitcoin, along with other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, potentially Cardano, maybe a couple more, will have a big part to play in our future. After learning a lot more about it this past year, I've actually increased my crypto allocation, and it helps that it protects me from inflation too. By the way, I have left links to all of the platforms I use to invest in these assets down in the description box below in case you're interested. One of the worst possible things to do in such an environment is to keep a large chunk of money in cash. Typical savings accounts are still paying next to nothing in interest. So it's essentially costing you 6% to keep that money in cash. When inflation is growing, it's usually best to have assets and investments like I mentioned before. Important note, this does not mean that you shouldn't keep at least 3 to 6 months worth of emergency savings to cover your expenses. This has always been necessary and will continue to be necessary even during times of inflation. Just don't go overboard with holding too much cash. The Fed believes that all of this is being blown out of proportion. They think that inflation is a transitory issue, meaning a short-term phenomenon. But we'll just have to wait and see how all of this plays out. Either way, the priority should be to invest in assets to inflation-proof your finances. Before you go, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Always appreciate you watching all the way to the end. I will be talking to you again very shortly. Bye bye.